Okay, so you might be wondering, how is banking a form of oppression? So Freire suggests that, quote, the more completely students accept the passive role imposed on them, the more they tend simply to adapt to the world as it is and to the fragmented view of reality deposited in them, end quote, from page 67, and I modified the word they to students. If we tie it back to what was discussed 2 weeks ago in chapter 1, if oppressors actually encouraged critical thinking and transformation by the people they are oppressing, this would likely result in a shift in power or a shift in a socially constructed way of being that is designed to serve the oppressors. In other words, by not teaching kids how to do critical thinking and how to transform their current situations, teachers can perpetuate a form of oppression where students are unquestioning their position as the unknowing and the teacher as the person who knows. Now again, tying back to the episode 2 weeks ago on chapter 1, the oppressors use language such as welfare recipient or incompetent and lazy to describe people who are participating in a program that is designed to make people want to integrate or be incorporated into what is considered a, quote, healthy society. However, this healthy society is actually one that continues to maintain this power imbalance. So in other words, oppressors view those who are oppressed as lesser than unless they are striving towards becoming a fellow oppressor, or simply somebody who follows the rules that were set in place by the oppressor and only work toward the advantage of those who are oppressing others. Tying this back into the classroom, we can say that certain ways of being a student are considered to be the appropriate ways of being a student, while others are not. As I mentioned 2 weeks ago, some examples might include not questioning the teacher, not being able to propose your own assessment or your own demonstration of understanding through a project that you choose, or even as a teacher who is oppressed by administrators or standards or state policies or whatever, not being able to teach units or lessons on subjects that are interesting to you and the kids that you work with within a given broader topic such as computer science. These are all forms of oppression, and the language that is used to oppress people often positions people who are not behaving as designed in a negative light, and the people who are following the rules, essentially, are positioned positively. This makes it so that students try and integrate into what is considered to be the appropriate ways of behaving, as well as teachers to integrate into what are considered to be the appropriate ways of being an educator. Okay, so if we go with the notion that teaching can be a form of oppression, especially in this banking form of teaching that Freire is mentioning, what can educators do about this to prevent this? So Freire suggests liberatory educators can actually focus on trusting students and their creative powers through a partnership between students and teachers rather than a domestication of students. And this is where Freire introduces an idea of a teacher-student with a hyphen in between, and a student-teacher with a hyphen in between. That phrasing of a teacher-student is basically what I refer to as a facilitator. So somebody who takes on the role of trusting students and encouraging creativity and learning alongside and from students, rather than trying to domesticate them into some way of thinking or knowing a particular topic or subject like computer science. Another way that we could describe this is epistemological colonization. In other words, we are taking over the ways of thinking and knowing that students value and supplanting our own. Again, all of this likely occurring unconsciously by educators. This excerpt of the CSK8 podcast is from episode number 52, which is titled Pedagogy of the Oppressed, Chapter 2. You can listen to the full episode as well as hundreds more by searching for the CSK8 podcast in your favorite podcast app or by going to jaredoleary.com.